Hello everybody and welcome to Uberphish Studios. It has been way too long since I have recorded anything. All these Cube Inc. videos that have been going up recently are backlog. I did those with Rachel quite a while ago, so I am sorry for being so absent for so long, but I've been pretty busy. School and mostly school. It's taken up far more of my time than I would have expected. But anyway, I have a few demos that I've been meaning to try out, and I figured I would share my first thoughts with you guys. This isn't actually the first time I've played this. I'm not actually going to play the game, because Heroes is a long, drawn-out process. But I wanted to go over my thoughts, since I am a big fan of the Heroes of Might and Magic series. Despite the fact that this is now Might and Magic Heroes. I don't know what the deal is with the names. Anyway, right off the bat, visual-wise, the menu looks really nice. I have all the graphics cranked up as high as they could possibly go, and it runs very well, and my computer isn't, like, super high-end. It's up there. My dad built it out of parts, so props to him. He did a good job. It runs pretty much anything I've put through it so far at max graphics. But, yeah, no, game runs fine at top graphics. All that stuff looks really fancy. And, as you can probably see, they've changed the art style from the fifth one. My sister Kylie, as you may have seen from Amnesia, that sentence is screwed, whatever. Kylie did not like the very stylized art style of Heroes 5, and I can agree that it's not Heroes-y. Pretty much from Heroes 3, the best in the series, on. Okay, not on, that's the only one. Heroes 3 was the best in the series, and it was very, very photorealistic, as photorealistic as you can get with stuff like behemoths and harpies and stuff like that. But, then Heroes 5 made it somewhat cartoony, is the word she would use. And she didn't like that, so they've gotten more back to the realistic stylings. So that is very cool. I have played the campaign. I'll go over those details as they may come up. We'll see. For now, just to show off some minor things, I'm going to do a skirmish here. One thing I don't like that they've changed from Heroes 3 and also from Heroes 5 is they give you a lot less info on the maps than they used to. There's like the bare minimum description, a small picture. Well, okay, the picture of the map is helpful. So perhaps cheating, because then you can know what you're getting into if you've never played the map before. I don't know. But there's nothing like what is the goal, what the teams are. I guess, you know, I think I'm making complaints out of nothing. It just is different, and I'm not used to it, and I don't like it quite as much. I think that is the main problem. So, yeah, take those complaints with a grain of salt. I am a big Heroes 3 fan, and also a fan of Heroes 5. I really like Heroes 5. Heroes 4 does not exist. Do not mention it. Just, heads up there. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go Inferno. Doesn't really matter what my opponent is, except, screw you, you are not Haven. You beat the crap out of me as Haven last time. And I am still sore about it. I should point out here, they have, really trimmed down the, racial options. In Heroes 3, I believe there were 7 or 8. And then they added the Conflux with Armageddon's Blade, so lots and lots of choices there. Heroes 5, not so much. This one I think is actually even less than Heroes 5 had, even pre-expansions, which added the orcs and goblins and stuff, and the dwarves. This, we got Sanctuary, which is sort of the answer to Heroes 3's Stronghold, I think it was, with the Lizardmen and the Hydras. This is a very Asian-themed, they have, like, the Asian dragons, the Luck Dragon type look, and several different varieties of ladies that live in water. So, yeah, not bad. They got some interesting things like, yeah, frog folks and stuff. There's Necropolis, you know, skeletons, liches. The liches are not in big dresses anymore, and they don't have a death cloud. That pissed me off. When liches don't have the death cloud, you have strayed far from where they should be. But also they've mixed it up. The top creature is no longer a bone dragon, so I'm good with some change there. They went with they're going with their lore with the whole spider motif for the necromancers, so I can get behind that. Humans have been the same since forever and ever. They have a bunch of guys with swords, a couple guys with arrows, and since about Heroes, I think since Heroes 3, they have angels. So, not much different there. Inferno has changed quite a bit, I would say. But I will get into that when I play it, because you'll be able to see that. And then Stronghold is the barbarians. They have goblins, they have orcs, they have cyclopses, all that same stuff. So anyway, I will make him Necropolis, because why not? I have spent far too long on this opening screen, so let us move on, and I will start showing off some details of the actual game. The art in this game is just fantastic. It looks really nice. Some of the in-game graphics seem to be a little glitchy, but it is a demo, and there are a few points where it's fairly obvious that it's got some work to be done. So, I wouldn't read too much into certain failings of this. Like, there are a lot of sound glitches, which I'll see if I can show you some of those that really don't work, and a few visual glitches that I will also get into later. But yeah, things like this, all the loading screen art is really nice. Most of the creatures look good. They seem to have focused mostly on getting the Inferno and the Haven, or the human guys, looking good before they did much else. But, you know, all looks very nice. So, if you are familiar at all with the Heroes of Might and Magic series, it is a top-down, turn-based. There's the strategy element, and then there is the turn-based combat, which is a different thing altogether. So I'll get into that when I get into that. Basically, have your hero here, and they'll stretch out if you have more of them. Movement, magic, level, stuff like that. All simplistic enough. First big change you'll notice, because they have a little pop-down thing talking to you about it, is they have changed the way heroes level up. This stuff I will get into in a second. This is just the artifact screen. Everything you pick up goes here, all that stuff. This is their stats, this is their luck and stuff. There's a picture, it's like way too long to get there, which, wow, that is really nice looking. I've actually not seen this hero in the past. Really cool. Anyway, heroes in the past would level up in that if they were a might hero or magic hero, they would get like a point in their basic stat, defense or attack or spell power or anything like that. And then they would, you would get to choose from one of 4 randomized, like, skills you could choose. Tactics, which would let you move your creatures around in the field, or different types of magic, or, better archery, or better defense, and things like that. Now, and Heroes 5, I'll compare to that also, had sort of you would choose those, but then you could also choose from sub-skills. You would, instead of 4 choices of just skills, you would have 2 choices of skills, or 2 different choices of sub-skills. Like, if you got archery, okay, but then you can go to ballista and make those better, because that is a subset of archery. Or if you got luck, then you could do a specific type of luck, where certain creatures' special abilities would be luckier, or creatures who had a 50% chance of doing this would instead of a 60% chance. Things like that. I'm rambling, I think. I don't know. I'm losing track of where I am. I've been up for way too long. Anyway, so I apologize. In Heroes 6, what they've done is added an ability tree. So every time you level, you get an ability point, and can actually spend it where you want it, exactly where you want it, with certain areas and levels of things locked off based on what level you are. And it's split into might abilities, which you get things like logistics, moving farther, luck, leadership, which is your morale, and there are all these different little tabs here, so you can get, for example, tactics, or your catapults, things like that. Lots and lots to choose from. Seriously, you could build heroes many different ways, and it would still continue to be interesting. I've had a lot of fun with this system. Magic, which, as you can see, actually cuts off and does not allow me to get to the 3rd tier because he is a might-specific hero. So you can still have magic, but you'll never get to the point of a magic-specialized hero. And you'll see here it's split into the different, earth. Darkness is a little strange, but fire, air, all that stuff. And I've noticed, I don't know if it's certain heroes or if it's certain civilizations, but there's also a water group and a light group, but sometimes those just aren't available to you, and I'm not quite sure why. And then you go over here to heroic abilities. These actually you can't spend your ability points on, but these are things that you get from leveling up. So your faction ability for the demons, it's gating. you can bring in like reinforcements. What is this? Apparently something critical attacks. I'm not reading well right now. And this specific hero specialization, in this case, bonus money. That's always good. And then your reputation abilities. Let me give me some good here. Let's go luck. Luck's always handy. Here's your reputation bar. This is new, and it changes the way you play, I think, in an interesting way. You can take your reputation towards tears, the good way, or blood, the evil way. And the way you change this is in the campaign, you will actually have options of, for example, that they had in the demo here, orcs that you are aligned with have taken a certain child of someone who is against you hostage, and you can choose to bargain with the orcs to get him back and resolve the situation peaceably, or you can just kill the guys, take the kid, and go. But whichever way you go will actually affect whether you go towards the tears route or the blood route. And you start with a neutral ability, Hellfire Aura. What is this here? Yeah, this is just for this hero, but let's see. 50% chance of dealing bonus fire damage. But say I was good, and it shows all the good options, and if you attack things and they try to run, if you let them go, you get tears. If you attack them anyway, you get blood. So say I let a bunch of them go, I move to the next one, increasing the number of gated creatures, go up a little farther. Creatures in the target gated sector stay with the hero's army. Oh, interesting. So you get the gated creatures, and then they can actually stay within the army. Huh. And then replace dead creatures. I've actually not looked at a lot of these because I never got that far. But then you would go evil, say, and you get bonus chances for critical hits, and then you go down a little farther. This seems, yeah, passive combat ability. This is active combat ability. You actually get something you cast all on your creatures, and the next 2 attacks will automatically be critical hits. So, things like that. And there are actual special animations for when you advance a rank of this. So if I got 250 tears points, I'd be treated to a little animation. Click the little level up thing, and it goes when your armor is all fancy, and whoop-de-doo, you are now level 2. And then I think you can actually go the other direction as well. I haven't actually gotten to the point where I can test that, so don't take my word on that for sure. But yeah, there actually is a different animation and a different armor style for whichever direction you go. Hopefully, if I've done my editing correctly, I will have spliced in videos of those animations at this point. So that way you haven't been watching nothing. Okay! Well, with all of that out of the way, I can explain to you my major grievance in this game. The absolute worst thing they did, in my opinion. They took out the full screen city screen. This is it. This is what you get when you go into your town. In Heroes 3, it was the massive sprawling thing of art, and actually in the previous games as well. And even in Heroes 4, which does not exist and is purely hypothetical at this point, had a decent city screen. Heroes 5 had that really awesome panoramic view of the entirely 3D city. It looked great. I loved that thing. Here in Heroes 6, we get this. This essentially just shows town level, which instead of building, say, your town hall, then you build your city hall, then your capital and all that stuff, you just level up your city with this little button here. Fine with the button, it doesn't really matter if I build separate buildings or just click a button over and over again. But that is essentially the only thing that will appear in this part of the screen. I think a few others show up, but it's barely even noticeable. Most of the changes you do will actually be visible in this part of the city, which I like that. It's great. I like having this part of the city change as you level things. But I want a city screen. I don't know why, but that just seems like it's such a huge part of the actual city process. And another bad thing, let me buy a creature thing just to demonstrate. Go into the buying creatures. This is it. In Heroes 5, you would actually see the creatures and all their details as you bought them. Moving around, you could rotate them, they would do their idle animations. Heroes 3, same thing. Small little picture, had their idle animations. This, all you get is this little, this pog here that shows you the head of the creature you're buying. Which, that's fine. I know what I'm buying now. Great. But I like to see what I'm buying. I don't know, but it seems like they've taken out a lot of the fun visual aspects of the game in this. In combat and stuff, they've actually done a fairly good job. But just the city is severely, severely downplayed from what it used to be, and it's depressing. I really liked that part of the game. Okay, so this is how the city screen works now. Much like always, you click on your different buildings and build them as you go down, and then all the creature ones can level up and upgrade your creature. I had a complaint that all of the upgrades seem to just be pretty much palette swaps. They add a few spikes here and there. Some things get a little fierier in this case. Other guys, they get a little extra armor or whatever. But otherwise, it's just they go from black and red to more red than there is black. And that just seems lazy. But when I thought about it, Heroes 5 didn't do much more than that. A few things did, like, Hydra's gained extra heads, stuff like that. And same with Heroes 3. But honestly, it's not too different than the past games. They didn't do as much as I'm probably thinking they are, or they did. Wow, I'm screwing up my English today. So, it's disappointing, but honestly, they actually did not do that much less than it was in the past. A holdout from Heroes 5, Hammer of the North, something like that. One of the expansions is that you can right-click on stacks of enemy creatures on the world, and it will actually tell you how likely you are to beat them. Now, veterans of the game would probably go, that's cheating. I want to be able to go in there without knowing much, knowing nothing but a general approximation of the number, and just see how I do. And I can agree with that. It's very fun to just say, okay, there's a throng there. Can I take a throng? Well, let's see, I could take a throng of those guys, I could take a legion of those guys, but can I take these? And then you go and test, and you either go, yep, I can totally take those, or you go, oh shit, I should not have done that. But this kind of takes all that sort of tactic out of it. It goes, low? Alright, I can totally freaking do that. And it even gives you a second chance now. Are you sure you can totally freaking do that? You can just hit retreat and go, nope, guess I can't. So, again, a lot of the tactics, the weight of your decisions has been taken out of this somewhat. And that is too bad. I think they're really catering to the noobs, which, making your game simplistic and easy to play is not a bad thing, but making it so simplistic that people that liked the strategy simply can't get into it as much anymore is... You gotta cater to your fan base to a certain extent. I mean, yes, you want to be able to bring in new fans, but if you piss off your existing fan base, you're gonna have a whole lot less fans by the time you're done. So, it's a fine line. I can't claim to know exactly how to get around that. So, anyway, here we go. We're in combat. Let me explain what's going on here. They have ditched the pure initiative bar that Heroes 5 had, and gone for more of a hybrid between Heroes 5 and Heroes 3. Heroes 3 was all your creatures went in the same order every single time, and it was based on their speed, I think it was. Now, there is this initiative bar that's based on their initiative, but within a certain turn, each creature will only act once. So, where in Heroes 5 you could actually get certain creatures acting multiple times within a single round, before, like, say your zombies are really slow and the other guy's got griffins. The griffins could actually, hypothetically, move twice before the zombies even got to move once. And it could be annoying, but if you worked it right, it could be very good tactically. It could be fun to mess around with. I liked that. But this works well too. There is an element of strategy in that creatures will still move first, but you'll never have to worry about something moving twice. Also, they have removed the hero having their own turn from Heroes 5, and instead they're once again delegated to this little thing on the side over here. Which, by the way, look at the size of these buttons. These are friggin' small. I realize you're minimizing the HUD and all that, but I could use bigger buttons. Please, in the future, bigger buttons. Just so you know. Anyway, you now have the option to use your cultural ability, which will charge up every time you are dealt damage or deal damage to the enemy. There's one or two that seem to maybe just go up over time, but I think most of them have to do with damage being dealt one way or the other. You can also cast spells, which I don't have, and also there are war cries, which are essentially spells for people who aren't magically based, and those, instead of costing mana, are simply on a cooldown timer for a certain amount of turns. So you can do things like improve morale, improve speed, things like that that don't actually take mana. So that's a good way of alleviating people who, if they were only might, they were essentially useless. However, there's also the option of, if you're only might and you don't have any war cries, special hero attack. Click that and you can run in and attack. Now I'm going to be quiet here so you can hear this. The sounds of this are completely screwed up. Did you hear anything? I didn't. So I don't know what the deal is. It's obviously an issue because it's the demo. The sounds are just broken. So it's kind of funny. I've been laughing at that a lot, but I do wish there was like a satisfying as your guy rode by and just wailed on these people with his sword. The magic people do actually cast magic, and it makes a sound, but it's sort of the magic casts instantly, and they'll still do their little animation on the side. There's some issues with the ranged combat. I've also noticed it specifically with catapults. They'll start their animation, the projectile will fly, and then they will continue their animation. So, a little bit of weirdness there. Whoa, I seem to be slowing down. I think this is because I am low on memory space. So, I have more things to cover, but let me cut this off here. I will do a little bit of grinding, a little leveling, and get some more creatures, and that way I will better be able to cover those small details I wanted to cover. So, apologies for the lag, I will return. Alright, I am back, and instantly my frame rate drops to crap, but that's fine for what I was going to discuss. You'll have to kind of deal with a little bit of twitchy movement here for a while. Yeah, so I'm back, leveled up a little bit, nothing too spectacular. Bought a bunch of creatures. As you can see, the city itself has upgraded somewhat. And you might notice, if I zoom in, that it actually has a bit of an organic look to it. And they've definitely taken that route with the whole city, as opposed to in the past, it was pretty much just the Judeo-Christian vision of hell, so devils, demons, punishers, guys with whips, things like that. And that was very cool. They did a good job with that and made some interesting creatures. But now they've gone almost more of a, like, the deep darkness plus hell, so sort of almost like a Cthulhu type stuff. It's kind of hard to describe, but I think Cthulhu is the best description you can kind of compare it to. Oh good, my frame rate's fixed itself. Also, something I wanted to mention with the town that has plagued me from the beginning is, okay, you open the town, wonderful, all good and all that. So, in the past, when you wanted to quit the town, there was always the exit and go back to the game button here. This is still the end turn button right now. If I want to close the town, I click here. Okay, that makes sense, but if you've been playing Heroes 5 for any stretch of time, or Heroes 3 before that, your first instinct is to go, open town, close. And so many times, you will go down there and end your turn when you still have full movement, you haven't bought everything, all that stuff, and it is really aggravating. And I guess that's not necessarily their fault, they just probably didn't think it through. And they should have, but they didn't. Oh well. We'll upgrade these just for the looks of it. And I'm going to get into one last combat to show you a few things, and hopefully this time remember what it is I want to discuss while in combat. So let's go ghosts. Ghosts are cool. Ghosts are like fezzes and Stetsons and stuff. Cool. So here you are given the option in your encounter. Instead of attack and retreat, you have pursue, which is to chase them down and kill them, or leave them, which is let them go. And if I were to leave them, boom, see, plus 30 tiers. So if I go here, you'll see I am now at 150 of 1,000. I was hoping to get to full to show you what happened when you got there, but I have already spliced in those videos, so it won't matter. And so as you can see here on the overworld, you do move from place to place and pick things up. Whoop-de-friggin' do, right? So let's attack these instead. They'll probably also run, won't they? No, they won't. Okay, so 65 crossbowmen plus all my stuff. So I will zoom in and show you what I mean by the Cthulhu comparison of the creatures. The other 10 creatures are also very nice, and they are worth a closer look, but I'm not going to get into that now. You can do that if you download the demo yourself or get the actual game. So as you can see, you have the basic hellhounds, succubi, and then you get weird. Yeah, these are the breeders, or in this case the breeder mother. They're actually a shooter. They just spawn little flying critters that fly out of their mouth, fly around, hit the thing, and come back. Though in this case the actual range attack is broken, so they just fly up and around and come back. And that is just weird, but awesome. These, I think, would have to be my favorite creatures, just looks-wise, in all of Hero 6. They are just really awesome. There's also a lower creature, the Maniacs, and something like that higher up also. Just, like, completely ridiculously insane. They attack with these heated whips that just have all over the place. And they just, when you win, they actually will, like, do some sort of slithering backflip. Very strange. Wait, what? I have never seen that. It was bouncing in just a red and white bouncy ball. That's weird. And then you have these. The Tormentors. Very, I don't know if any of you have ever played Ghostmaster, but if you play that, it's the Darkling. I really like the look of that. And so, it's... Instead of just hell, it is demented in general, and I love that. That's a great look to go for the hell creatures. It meshes perfectly well. And that's what they did a good job with. Whenever they added a new, radically new creature, it meshes very well with just the basic ideology that the town had originally, or they shift the ideology slightly so that it still fits amazingly well. So, all in all, art design, very, very well done, I think, in this game. Let me see, let me go over what else I had in terms of likes, dislikes, and stuff in combat. The fact that sounds are broken is a major detractor. Let's see if I can... No, but you can see the broken animation where instead of, I think it's supposed to fly out, hit, and come back, but instead it just kind of like hovers around and goes back in. Weird. So yeah, things like that are broken. A couple sounds are broken. Let me see if the casting works. So what does this do? Increases. Okay. Let's, they always shoot for these things. The AI is a bit of a dick. It, in past games, the AI was just pretty much unbeatable in an annoying sense. They would rush you constantly. If you weren't taken down by week 3, the AI wasn't doing its job. And, they've fixed that to a certain degree in this game. They are still relentless once they actually come to attack you, and they seem to cheat in the number of creatures they can get, no matter what difficulty you're on. But they aren't nearly so bad. But what they will do is they will find a single creature in your army. For the Hell, it's these guys. For the Haven, it's these the sisters that are essentially the healers, like the clerics of the group. Things like that. They will pick a single creature, and through the entire game, not just single combats, but the entire game, that creature will be picked on relentlessly. Never letting up. It's terrible. Sometimes they will talk about things like, for example, I run these guys forward, they may get shot at, but more than likely, no, okay, they shoot the thing that came forward. Alright, so there is some strategy there, but if I had, like, hunkered back, and for some reason, I don't know why I would do that, they would shoot at these, without a doubt. I don't know why. The decent strategy, if they were hanging back, would be to shoot their shooters, but whatever. I got off on a serious tangent there, I apologize. I wanted to show some of the cool things in the game. In Heroes 5, they had a thing where you could turn on... I think it might have been dynamic combat. There was an option you could turn on that would every so often just zoom in on the combat between two creatures and show it in like the very dramatic light, where like it would zoom all in, you'd see everything in close detail as they did their attack. And they've kept that to a lesser degree. By which I mean, if you get good luck, pretty much without a doubt, when you get good luck with a melee attacker, it will zoom in and show them do actually a different attack animation from their usual one, which is cool. I like that. It doesn't affect archers, unfortunately. I wish it did, but so I have my luck is boosted fairly high. Let's see if I'll manage to get that. No, I don't think I won't yet. And retaliations don't count. Let's see on this one. Nope. Okay, so that's not going to work for now. What else? I actually, before I did this video, I wrote pretty much a script for what I was going to use for a review slash retrospective of just the entire series. Ended up being like 3,000 words and 5 pages long, mostly on the history of the other games. And then when it got to this game, it was very disjointed. So I have scrapped that, and I'm doing this, which is marginally less disjointed, if you can possibly believe that. Yeah. Wow, this is less disjointed. Think about that for a second. Just that'll give me some time to organize my thoughts while you think about that. So, in the end, this is a very fun game. If you're a fan of the series, I see no reason why you wouldn't want to go out and get this game, maybe for cheap. If you already have Heroes 3, if you already have Heroes 5, you're not getting that much new. There's a new campaign if you're interested in the story. There's new creatures if you're that into them, and the leveling system for the heroes is very different. But other than that, there is not much to sell you on the game. For example, what I meant to bring up earlier is the music. Say, for example, you take the music of the past Heroes games, Heroes 1, Heroes 2, Heroes 3, even Heroes 5. And then you compare those to, say, let's just go with this combat music. There actually, as far as I know, is not different city music. So, just listen to this for a second. Very bland. It's not bad, necessarily. I don't want to say anything in this game is necessarily bad. Except for the town. The way that they removed the town thing, I don't like that at all. However, the music just doesn't have that epic feel. It's not catchy. It's not interesting. And that's serious. That's a very major loss. Oh, hey! That's a cutscene. Sweet. Anyway, that's a serious loss, I think, on their part. I'm not sure if it's the same composer as it was in the past. I'll put their names up because actually they did, I think, every Heroes game so far. I don't know about this one. And they've done a very good job. But it's just not as good in this game. Not terrible, it's just very boring. It doesn't go out of its way to be interesting and, I wouldn't say pleasant to listen to, because it is pleasant. I mean, it's not terrible. But it's just not something I would listen to outside of the game, which other Heroes music I actually have on my musical playlist. I will listen to other Heroes music constantly. It's good stuff. Okay, I can't zoom out. That's annoying. Past Heroes games, you could see like huge chunks of the map at once. This one, you have to scroll around, and that's kind of annoying. I like to be able to get a good overview. I like being able to zoom in and get a good close look at everything, see all the details, because I mean, they put in the details, they put the effort in. Might as well. Oh, it defaults to straight. Thank goodness. That's very nice. They put this effort in though to make everything look very nice, and it deserves to be looked at close. But I want to be able to zoom, like, to be able to see a quarter of the map at once. And now, see, now I'm just bringing up nitpicks, and it's stretching things out longer than it needs to go. And this is pretty much what went wrong with my review of the thing. I just kept bringing up nitpicks and kept bringing up nitpicks. It's a fine game, and honestly, if I had disposable income that I wasn't going to spend on things like Skyrim and Serious Sam 3 and Dead Island and what have you, all these amazing things are coming out, I would get this game because I love Heroes. Heroes is a great series. I've loved it since the beginning, excluding Heroes 4, which they skipped. So it's something. Actually, my entire family has played this game religiously at one point or another. We actually had points back when I was like 10, when we would actually set up our two computers and play massive, like 3-on-3 Heroes games that we'd rotate out and sit at our computers and play them, and it was awesome. Even on a few times on vacations, we actually set up a laptop on an ironing board and played Heroes 2 in a hotel. And just great memories of the game, and I would not say at all that they have ruined the game or they have betrayed the series history. They have simply changed things, in some cases for the better. I like, the more 3D combat, the fact that it's squares instead of hexes is cool. Hexes are interesting, but I like the squares. It makes things more simple. Even the changes to the fewer heroes in fewer cities and fewer creatures and stuff like that, disappointing, but not terrible. And so, I'm trying to wrap this up in a definitive way. If you are a fan of this series, have money to spare, or don't have Heroes 3 or Heroes 5, okay, if you're a fan of the series and have money to spare, I would get this game. If you do not have Heroes 3 or Heroes 5, I would get those first. If you were not a fan of Heroes 3, but were a fan of Heroes 5, that's probably a very slim margin, this may be right up your alley. If you were a fan of Heroes 3 and not a fan of Heroes 5, Kylie did not like Heroes 5 as much. Probably not something you would like, but, get the demo, see what you think. If you weren't a fan at all, obviously, you wouldn't want to buy it. I don't know why you'd even be watching this video. So, in that confusing, wrapped up sense, I think that's it. Fun game. I don't know if it's worth the full $60, but hey, if it interests you, go out and check it out.